Hello and welcome. For today's video, we come to Arlington Heights, a suburb of Chicago, Illinois. We start at the Rand Hill Park Cemetery, the Shalom Memorial Funeral Home. These are the main gates that we are about to travel through. Giant stone-like castle gates, a giant planter here, a castle tower with one gate here, 2, 3. It's a pretty cool and immaculate entrance to a cemetery. 1700 West Rand Road, right here in Arlington Heights. It looks like the gates open at 8 a.m. each day. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if it's your first time. I am Tampa J. Thank you for clicking on this video. I'm out here today paying my respects to a hero of mine, Harold Ramis, Dr. Egon Spangler. Me and this guy go way back to when I was a kid, and if you clicked on this video, I'm sure you can say the same. Where do I begin? I knew I had to come out here. I remember the day, what I was doing, the exact moment where I was when I got the news that Harold Ramis had passed away. It was a sad moment. I was driving in my Napa delivery truck. I was a delivery driver for Napa Auto Parts, and I was in the Channelside district on Kennedy Boulevard in downtown Tampa when I heard the news on the radio. It was actually 102.5 The Bone. I heard the news on that radio program. Someone had announced that Harold Ramis had passed away, and immediately I was saddened, and I'm not gonna lie, I cried. Harold Ramis was a man among many talents. Some of the best and greatest comedies of my lifetime were written by Harold. He was born right here in Chicago, and he died here in Chicago. He actually went to high school here and then moved away after high school and went to college in St. Louis, but he would spend a majority of his days raising his family right here in Chicago. We come to Arlington Heights to the cemetery so I can pay my respects, pay a little tribute, have a little moment of silence for Harold Ramis. And we'll talk more about him once we find his resting place out here at this beautiful cemetery. Thanks for watching, guys. I wanted to put this into another video. I was short on time here in Chicago, but like I did with Charles Bronson in Vermont a few weeks back, I felt that this subject matter, this tribute, Harold Ramis deserves his own video. He's such a big deal to me. My favorite movie of all time since I was a kid is Ghostbusters. Harold will always be Dr. Egon Spangler in my heart. And also writer of some of the greatest comedies of all time. And director. To be honest with you, I'm not so sure where Harold's resting place is. I just know that it's out here at this cemetery. This beautiful tower right here in the middle of it all. Giant stone sculpture. As you can see, this is a Jewish cemetery, so there's a lot of Jewish symbols in here. It's very beautiful, very pretty. You can walk all the way around this rotunda here, and then you look out over the cemetery. I would be buried here. This is beautiful. And I think if Harold was here, he would laugh if I stepped in that. Okay, pick after your doggies, people. Especially in resting places. I mean, that's like a foot away from that grave. Or that's not dog feces. That's probably a raccoon. All right, we're driving back. I'm looking for section 14. I did a little more research on my phone. I'm passing section 11. Here comes 12, so I think I'm getting close. So this is a non-above ground tombstone cemetery. There are no above ground tombstones. They're flat. There are a lot of cool sculptures in here. Check this out. This is the North Shore Congregation of Israel sculpture. It says it right there. And to find the resting place of Harold Ramis, you come to 14 Alpha Mamre. This portion is located all the way in the back of Shalom Cemetery. So let's go say hello to Harold. Okay, it took me a few minutes, but I've located it just to show you where I'm at. You can make out a bit of my rental car right there behind the trunk of the tree over on the road. That's where I walked in. Kind of went down this way, looked around over here, Went back here and then kind of walked straight this way. Harold Alan Ramis. Son, brother, husband, father, friend, teacher, student, creative force, generous spirit, lover of life, loved by all. Born November 21st, 1944, died February 24th, 2014. And it's a beautiful headstone, absolutely beautiful. Let's go back into the early days of Harold Ramis. Wrote Animal House, worked with John Belushi, would go on to write National Lampoon's Vacation. Actually, that was also John Hughes. Harold Ramis directed National Lampoon's Vacation, such a classic. We've got to mention Caddyshack, one of the greatest comedies of all time. Harold Ramis, yes, wrote Caddyshack. Meatballs, Analyze This, Robert De Niro, and then a sequel, Analyze That. One of his latest movies was Bedazzled with Brendan Fraser. He wrote that movie. I think the last movie before he passed away that he worked on was Year One with Jack Black. Of course, we cannot not mention Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, Stripes with Bill Murray. He worked with Bill Murray so much, was a friend. Bill Murray also from Chicago originally, I believe. I heard once that they had a falling out on the set of Groundhog's Day, written by Harold Ramis, another classic, but they made amends toward the end. They were really good friends, of course, co-stars of Ghostbusters. And some fun facts about Harold. Born in 1944 on the north side of Chicago, Harold was son to Ruth and Nathan Ramis. They lived on the north side of Chicago, and they owned a grocery store. Son of a grocer. Just a fun fact there for you. Also, he graduated from Sin Height. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I looked that up online. It's H-A-Y-T, Sin Height High School in 1962. And then he went to college in St. Louis at Washington University, which I didn't realize that. I was there a few weeks ago. They filmed parts of Escape from New York on that university. I had no idea that Harold Ramis went there. That's one of my favorite comedies of all time, very underrated. You may have seen it, written by Harold, Multiplicity, starring Michael Keaton. And there's actually a documentary about the life of Harold Ramis out there called Multiplicity, The Life of Harold Ramis, if you want to check that out. Another movie that kind of goes unnoticed that Harold Ramis had been involved with was an animation called Heavy Metal in the 80s. Who remembers that one? Back to School, Rodney Dangerfield. Harold co-wrote that. Also Orange County, another Jack Black movie. He worked with Jack Black twice. Jack Black, a hilarious actor. I can see why Harold would take a liking to him. Harold worked with so many greats. We're talking Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, John Candy, Robert De Niro, again, Rodney Dangerfield, just to name a few among many. And of course, Caddyshack. Gotta go back to Caddyshack. That's probably one of the best comedies of all time. Oh, there's like a fly over there. Just kind of flew off. A lot like the resting place that I just visited in Vermont for Charles Bronson, this one's all the way back against the tree line. Just a observation. And let's talk about this man as far as an influencer. Jay Roach, Adam Sandler, Judd Apatow, the Farley brothers, all credit this man as their inspiration. Writer, again, of some of the greatest comedies of all time, in my opinion, the best. And late next year, it will be 10 years, a decade, that we lost Harold. And I knew when he died, I knew someday I would come out here and pay my respects. I didn't realize it would be this weekend, and I'm glad I had a little bit of time today to stop here. I'm on my way south, and tomorrow I'm leaving back to Tampa, and I just had a couple hours, perfect amount of time to stop by and pay my respects to Harold Ramis. I feel like I failed you, Harold. I should have brought a collection of spores, mold, and fungus. Egon Spengler. I had the pleasure of meeting Ernie Hudson, is the only other Ghostbuster I have met. Unfortunately, I never got to meet Harold, but this is the closest thing to it. To come out here and pay tribute to this man means so much to me, and it means so much to me that you guys are here with me, so thank you. I hope you enjoy, respectively, I hope you enjoy this endeavor, myself out here saying hello to Egon. Moment of silence. So I'm noticing there's all kinds of rocks just placed around the headstone here. I don't know if they came from somewhere, if they have some kind of significance, or perhaps people came out here like I did. I was like, man, I should leave something, and they just grabbed a rock, kind of put their energy into it and put it over here. I mean, I could do the same thing. That's actually a really good idea. I feel bad I didn't bring any spurs, mold, or fungus, Egon. That's a great line. He wrote it himself. Well, if I'm gonna leave the rock, might as well be the biggest. Here you go, Harold. You've earned it. Which was Murray's line to him in Ghostbusters, as he gave him the crunch bar. I love that in the new movie Ghostbusters, the Afterlife movie, that they did a little nod to that moment. They showed the crunch bar in Spengler's Ghostbusters jumpsuit, and of course, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it already, that ending is supreme. Nice little tribute to Harold. It was perfect. I love it. Can't wait for the new Ghostbusters movie. Jason Reitman is doing it well, and shout out to Jason Reitman, the director and producer of the new Ghostbusters movie, son of Ivan Reitman, friend of Harold Alan Ramis, who passed away sadly a couple years ago, director of the first and second Ghostbusters film. I want to mention all that here too. This is a ghost head community. I've always enjoyed the fandom of the ghost heads. This movie is not just big to me, you know, it's big. Odds are you clicked on the Harold Ramis video, this one, you wanted to see his grave, you're a fan of Ghostbusters too. Or perhaps another movie of his, but I'm just trying to say that this man's very important to me. He was, still is, always will be. So, shalom. And I appreciate your time, Harold. Thank you so much. And you guys out there, thank you for yours as well. Thanks for coming. And just like the last video I made just like this when we visited the grave of Charles Bronson in Vermont, this is also gonna be a very quick one. A subject matter that needed to be all on its own. An entire video devoted to the life of a great man, Harold Ramis. I hope you enjoyed it. If it's your first time here and you like watching videos, subscribe below, because I make a bunch of those, all different types. I'm not gonna shout out all the stuff I do at the end here, but I do a lot of stuff. If you like to see it, I hope you enjoy it. That's all I'm saying. Thank you for watching. Shout out to you ghost heads out there, you fans of Harold Ramis. This will be my last video for this trip here in Chicago. I will be back soon though. I will be back soon. I've got to go home to Tampa, work my 9-to-5 job all week. Actually, I got a couple days off because I'm headed to Dragon Con. It will be my 6th year going to Dragon Con in Atlanta, Georgia. That is no shocker. I do it every year. Gonna hang out with my friends and do some things. It's gonna be fun. So yeah, there's another reason to subscribe right there. And if you're not new here, thanks for watching. I love you guys. I do this for fun. So I really enjoy hearing your guys' comments. Thanks for the thumbs up. I can't say that enough. This channel would not be the same without you. Like the cover of the Stripes poster. Stripes. All right, thanks, Harold. Shalom, buddy. We'll see you next time. Know you're awesome, know you're loved, and no matter who you are, what you're going through, just know that there is always much ahead for you. Yes, I'm talking to you, my friend. I'm talking to you. I don't know why I'm walking over here, because I parked right there. Whoops. I can't walk and vlog, bro. All right, there's much ahead. This one's over. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, guys. I'm still walking the wrong. I don't want to walk over the graves. I'm like walking in between. Gotta be respectful out here.